Hey parents, Mr. Jim here, and guess what? All of Mr. Jim podcasts, yes, I'm talking kids short stories, kids animal stories, Biology Squad, bedtime stories, all of them are now available on Storybutton. Storybutton is my invention that I invented to make it easier for kids to listen to podcasts, their favorite stories, off of screens. Parents, you know how it goes of putting kids to bed, maybe having to use your phone or an iPad to listen to stories. Well, we want to put that to an end and make it easier for you all to listen to audio stories off of a screen. Storybutton is a device that connects to your internet to freely access all of the great kids podcasts available in our library. Go to storybutton.com to learn more. And when you order today, you can save $20 and get free shipping at storybutton.com. Hey friends, it's Mr. Jim and welcome back to Kid Short Stories. Guess what? I've been working for a while on a new invention called Storybutton. Yeah, Storybutton is a new device, a new speaker that makes it easy to listen to podcasts without having to use a screen device, tablets or your parents' phone. Yes, Storybutton makes it easy to listen to your favorite podcasts, including kids' short stories, Biology Squad, kids' animal stories, bedtime stories, and more. Have your parents check down in the show notes to learn more about how they're coming very soon, or go to storybutton.com to learn more. Well, my friends, are you ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go! Gideon was a Lego master. He could build anything with his Legos: rocket ship castles, ice-breathing dragons, villages made of candy and lava. Wow, if Gideon could dream it, he could build it. He kept all of his Legos stored in a special toy box in his room. One day, Gideon was sitting inside his toy box digging for the perfect block to finish building his alien planet. No, that one's not big enough. Not green enough. Not alien-y enough. He tossed blocks to the side in search of the perfect one. He wasn't exactly sure what he was looking for, but he would know it when he saw it. Gideon swept away a pile of pointy triangular pieces to reveal the perfect piece. This piece was the green of swamp creatures with the delight surprise of blue and green shimmers that made it the perfect piece to finish his mysterious alien planet. "It's perfect!" exclaimed Gideon. He snatched up the piece and held it up to the light. It twinkled and shined and seemed to grow larger the longer he looked at it. Then it got heavier. Gideon realized it wasn't just looking larger and larger. It was growing. The piece became very quickly too large and heavy for Gideon to hold it up any longer, and poof, he had to drop it. Oh, it doesn't need to be part of the alien planet. Now it's big enough to be the whole alien planet. It wasn't until he turned to climb out of the toy box that he saw his mistake. The block hadn't actually grown. He had shrunk! Toys of every shape and color towered over him, and the walls of the toy box reached upward at an impossible height. Oh dear. Escape may have looked impossible, but Gideon did not fear. After all, he was a master builder, so he began to plan. He observed his surroundings. The glittering green Lego was out of the question. It was too tall. And besides, that's the one that got him into this mess in the first place. I need to find smaller Lego pieces that I can still carry. Gideon climbed tall blue mountains and slid down the middle of large red blocks. The bumps running down either side of each block made great handholds for climbing, but it was best to avoid them while sliding, or it would be a pretty rough ride. He made his way toward the towering walls of the toy box, collecting all the smaller blocks he could carry. When he reached the wall, he set the blocks down and headed out for more. When he had piled enough, Gideon nodded with determination. Phew! All right, it's time to build. He stacked blocks in a staggering position, one on top of the next, then the next, and so on, until a staircase began to form. He climbed his staircase up, and up towards the top of the toy box wall. When the last Lego was placed, he stepped onto the top of the wall. Gideon threw a triumphant fist into the air. Yes, I did it! But his excitement soon faded as he looked around, realizing how high up he really was. Whoa, now what? But Gideon was not one for quitting. He was still a master builder, and his determination was only growing. He looked down toward the floor so far below him. He spotted the rocket ship he had built and some spare blocks, all things that were too far away to reach from all the way up top. Then, right by the edge of the toy box, he saw a soft and squishy teddy bear. Geronimo! Gideon shouted as he cannonballed onto the teddy bear's soft belly. He landed and sank safely into the plush toy, then climbed through the soft fur toward the floor and headed for his rocket ship. He needed to find a way to get big again, but there were more important things to do first. He climbed up into the rocket ship and took his seat. Gideon put on his most official voice. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Gideon was pushed back into his seat as the rocket ship shot up into the air of his room. Gideon would have been thrilled, but it was heading straight for the ceiling fan directly above. Ah! He screamed as it sailed closer without even slowing down. Before it hit the fan, the wing became tangled in the pull cord dangling from the middle of the fan. Whoosh! It knocked Gideon and his rocket off their straight path. They began orbiting the fan. Kind of like the moon orbiting the Earth, but on hyper speed. Mission abort! Gideon yelled, closing his eyes at the dizzying ride. The cord untangled from the rocket, sending it sailing through the air over his bed, and crashed, landing in a pile of blankets on the floor. He crawled his way out of the ship. Some of the Lego pieces were scattered about, but otherwise, he was unharmed. But walking through the sea of blankets was like trying to escape quicksand. With every step, the blankets sunk down, trapping him in their fuzziness. After a few minutes, he tumbled over the edge. Phew! Relieved to be back on the solid floor. In front of him, underneath his bed, loomed like a cave. Down there in the distance, something was glowing. What is that? Gideon wondered as he followed the light of the object. When he got closer, he could make out the telltale bumps of a Lego sticking out along its surface. He reached it, and it towered over him just as the first magic Lego. Just as beautiful and even more mysterious. It glowed like a nightlight, allowing Gideon to make out the dust bunnies around it. Wow, you must have been down here a long time, Gideon said to the Lego. I wonder why I've never noticed you before. It was so bright and beautiful, he had to touch it. Gideon reached out his hand and felt the glow enter his body. It made him feel warm and large. Whoa! And as he felt this, he began to grow as the Lego grew small until it was small enough for him to hold in his hand. Then Gideon crawled out from under his bed. He stood up and began collecting the scattered pieces of his rocket ship. He wasn't sure what would happen if he let go of that glowing Lego, but he had an idea. Walking over to the toy box, he picked up the first glittering green Lego. Gideon snapped the two together and put them on a shelf. I have a feeling you two will come in handy again soon, Gideon told his two very special Legos. Then he began reassembling his rocket ship, dreaming of future adventures. Wow, even though this is the end of our story, it is definitely not the end of the amazing adventures that lie ahead for Gideon and his magic Legos. The end. Hey friends, I need your help celebrating a birthday. Drum roll, please. Happy birthday, Wiley Daniels, who's turning 7 years old. Wiley loves all animals of all shapes and sizes. He is a creative and skilled artist and is exploring the redwoods this week. Wow, I'm so glad we got to celebrate you and your big day on the show, Wiley Daniels. Happy 7th birthday. Fun fact, me and you share the same birthday. Today is my birthday as well. Wow, August 9th is the best day ever. Well, I hope you all have a super duper day, and I will see you on our next adventure. Bye!